Hello, everybody. I'm Shrishreya Murugappa. I'm a third year MSc Integrated student here at CEG at Anna University. I'm also a part of the Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CEG, AC Tech, and SAP. Guindy Times has recently launched an interview series called Hustler Summit, where we interview different entrepreneurs and ask them about their work and the struggles that they had to overcome to achieve their goals. Now, without further ado, I welcome Ms. Vanipriya Jayaraman, who is an established entrepreneur. She is currently the director and head of co-creation at Exotel. Prior to Exotel, she has founded several companies and continues to mentor startups. She also helps high school students as a facilitator to Beyond 8, India's first learner-centric school system. Ma'am, it is truly an honor to be talking to you here today. To see a fellow woman achieve the levels of success that you have accomplished, it is truly inspiring. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. So to start off with a light-hearted note, ma'am, could you please introduce yourself to us?
Yeah, so you did most of the introduction of what I do currently. So I am a director at Exotel. I take care of the co-creation side of things, where we customize a lot of solutions for enterprise customers. Prior to this, I've had a couple of startups. I have also helped people set up companies in India and run their Indian operations. So long and short of it is I've been pretty much doing things from scratch, and that's the kind of job profile that suits me and my personality. I like to hustle and do a lot of things from scratch. So yeah, I think all of you guys who are listening to this is anyway very net savvy. So the nitty gritties of my profile is anyway there on LinkedIn, so you can figure that out.
Okay. In today's business world, it seems to have such cutthroat and fierce competition, and it would be kind of daunting for anyone who's thinking of entering the industry, especially for young women. What advice would you give one to who's trying to break into the entrepreneurship side of the industry?
Okay, your question is on two sides, right? On one side, you're talking about people wanting to enter the industry, which I assume is the technology or engineering side of things, right? And the second part of your question is breaking into or trying to be an entrepreneur. Okay, both of them are very different questions. Okay, to get into the industry, I'm sure you're all in CEG, so for you to get into the industry doesn't take much. You already have a good background of the school that you come from, and I'm sure your campus placements are going to help you get there as well. It's just a matter of time for you to get one of those tickets and get up and running. So if you talk about women, I think women these days, especially from the good colleges, don't see the gender barrier yet. I mean, I say yet because once you hit the system, you will start seeing a difference, right? But at least in your school and your college, you are not put through that, which probably people in my generation or probably before my generation, my moms or grandmothers would have seen, right? There were typical gender stereotypes. So I think the fierce competition is there everywhere, and it's a good thing to have. And this fierce competition, there are going to be more businesses coming into the system, so you will have more job opportunities. Just one advice for young women would be just to go beyond the gender barrier. I mean, you should not be thinking about what I am a woman, what would happen to me. It would rather be like, I'm a professional, what are the skill sets that I need to be. So that's probably the mindset you need to approach to get into the industry and make it big. On entrepreneurship side, right? See, I think there is one basic thing that I always tell people who want to be entrepreneurs and all of that. It's not like want to be a doctor or I want to be an engineer or they are all skill sets, right? So if you want to be a doctor, you do MBBS. You want to be an engineer, you do engineering degree and all of that. An entrepreneur it's a mindset. It's not a skill set, right? You can be a doctor and be an entrepreneur. Most doctors are entrepreneurs, right? They have their own practice and stuff like that. They do their own sales, and that's what it is. So to be an entrepreneur, it need not be necessary that you have to set up your own business and things like that. It's a mindset. So how you behave yourself, even in a constrained environment of working for somebody, is still something that you have to inculcate within yourself. So I would never advise somebody to become an entrepreneur because you want to become an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur and to be a successful entrepreneur, there are various different facets to it, right? Uh, to begin with, you should have a problem to solve. You can't generally say, I want to start be an entrepreneur and then start looking for what you want to do. You take my case, the products that I've done being an entrepreneur were places where I found an opportunity and I found the right time in the right environment to start that business. If that hadn't presented itself, there would be no success, right? So you should come across problems to solve. You should understand, you should have enough skill sets to solve that problem, and you should also be have enough resources to make a business out of it. So these are all facets that without any of this, I don't think you can be an entrepreneur. So if you want to be an entrepreneur at some point of time, wait for the right opportunity, wait for the right problem that you want to solve, and you should have enough skill sets to solve that problem. So without these, I don't think you should even venture to be an entrepreneur. And unlike becoming a doctor or engineer where the things have to be done at a certain time, right? You have to have that degree when you're like early 20s, then your
Yeah.
internship or your apprenticeship and stuff like that. You can be an entrepreneur at any point of time. So it's just a matter of whatever I said, right? The skills, the opportunity, and the right problem to solve, which will give you money. So keep at it. If you don't if you don't have these today, you might get it down the line in 5 years when you already joined somebody, figured out. But as a general principle, I will tell, don't you can join some place, understand, typically a startup, understand how things work being in a startup, gain some skills for a year or so, then become an entrepreneur if you have the other things ready.
Great advice, ma'am. What would you consider to be the greatest piece of advice someone gave you when you were starting out, ma'am?
Okay, when I was starting out, somebody, okay, one piece of advice I always remembered was I wanted to do an MBA. All right, and somebody asked me, why do you want to do an MBA? I said I want to have my business on my own. They said, if you want to be a good businessman would hire an MBA and put them to work than you going and doing an MBA yourself and spending the money out of your pocket. There's already somebody who's done that. So a good businessman or a businesswoman would try to use the resources around them than becoming those resources themselves. So kind of saved my probably 20-25 lakhs at that point of time to get an MBA, and also probably 1 or 2 years. So I think they said, if you want to do a business, you just do a business. You don't go and try to take a degree to do a business, right? So and they said, rather spend that 1 year to understand how business work, which is what I did. I joined a very small company where I could report to the CEO, or rather COO, and get a top level view of how businesses work. And I think that's what led me into getting into entrepreneurship much earlier than what was. The other piece of advice was also that don't see money too early in life, because if you have a very high paying job and you want to jump into entrepreneurship, the returns might not be that great. And if you are very comfortable in the lifestyle that you already established, then it becomes a problem for you to step back and all of that. So that's a very typical human thing, that you're used to a comfort, you wouldn't want to step back from it knowing that you're not going to get the same comfort. So which is why I became an entrepreneur when I was 23, 24. So when I was not married, I didn't have children or anything. So if you have family and other things, right, then it becomes a bit difficult for you to let go of the money that you have. So those are two great advices that I think was given to me.
Wow, ma'am. So, ma'am, what tricks have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day to day? Because you have a very busy schedule. What helps you keep motivated throughout the day?
Okay, there are no tricks or anything to that. I have a lot of hobbies. I practice music. I do enough things at home. Um, so so those are the things that you need to have. Sorry, I had to bring this one. Yeah, so one of the tricks, it is difficult to focus with the baby at tot. So see, some of the tricks that have helped me is I have a lot of hobbies. So I listen to a lot of music. I am a performing musician, so I can get to perform, play music, and learn. So the other thing is that I ensure that there is some learning that I do. So I recently completed a level 1 in Italian, things like that. So I just pick up random stuff that I can keep my brain active in terms of learning. So I think, but that's very individualistic, right? Okay, that's very individualistic. So you can pick whatever works for you. That can keep you focused.
Ma'am, so what would you consider to be milestones when you're starting a company to have like a stable company culture and like a friendly work environment? What would you consider to be like milestones when kind of doing that?
Okay, so can you tell me what you want to hear? I mean, where you're coming from? Because when you're starting a company, culture happens when more people join, right? I can't person culture. So
like happy employees is what I mean. Like
friendly working atmosphere. See, basically it depends on what kind of a leader you are. I'm a very there's something called I'm a very offhand leader, in the sense like I will trust you. If I've hired you, I trust you that my instincts were right and you are the right person to be in that job. And then I would not get in the way of you doing work. So I'll just wait for you to get back to me. I'll trust that you'll get back to me at the right time and not at this thing. So I'll also trust that we are all humans, we'll make mistakes. So I think that kind of a very that basic element of being human, right? We all have families, we'll have personal struggles outside of work, to basically accommodate you as a person within a company, and how the company can see you beyond an employee number. And and somebody who's, so I should see you as Shrishreya as a person who's also an employee with me, rather than just being an employee with me. So I think that is, if that is something that all leaders can take into account, that'll be great.
Okay. And finally, ma'am, as we draw our meeting to a close, I wanted to ask you how you felt about the students of Guindy Times and like the initiative to reach out to successful people in business and entrepreneurs to hopefully help our students to achieve great things.
This is amazing, right? I mean, I've spoken to a few people from your college. I think I was part of the startup weekend, and I've interacted with, I think, few of your colleagues, who put you on to me, right? So it is very, very essential, at least at your stage, where you are exploring things, you want to be somebody, there are people who have entrepreneurial aspirations and all of that, to get the inspiration of people like us, right? We've seen a lot of things, so we can definitely add a lot of value, and guide you in the right way, so that you don't make the mistakes that we did. So I think that's pretty much it. So right, I think women with children, women with family can all achieve a lot of things. So this is a message to all the girls there: go for it and just do what you want.
Many times, thanks, Ms. Vanipriya, for spending a valuable time and giving us some truly amazing advice. And we wish you all the best for your future endeavors, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us here, ma'am.
All the best to you as well, and all the best to everybody at Guindy Times.
Thank you, ma'am.